The sterile hallways of St. Jude's Medical Center were the pride of the city, and Dr. Julian Rodriguez was its undisputed king. With a legendary record of over 5,000 successful surgeries and a 0% fatality rate, he was internationally known as the man with the golden hands. High-profile politicians and celebrities flew across the country just to be under his blade. But that golden reputation shattered on a cold, rainy Tuesday afternoon. Elena Vance, a healthy 25-year-old primary school teacher, was admitted for a routine, low-risk appendix removal. 45 minutes later, she was pronounced dead on the operating table. The hospital board immediately issued a statement calling it a 1 in a million anesthetic complication. But Elena's husband, Mark, a man who knew his wife's strength, refused to sign the settlement papers. Today, we step inside the mahogany-walled courtroom where a grieving husband takes on a medical titan to uncover the ghost in the operating room. The lawsuit filed by Mark Vance sent shockwaves through the entire medical community. It wasn't just a claim of malpractice, it was an accusation of a systemic cover-up. Your Honor, the hospital's lead defense attorney, a man known for winning the unwinnable, argued with cold precision. Medicine is not an exact science. Even in the most routine procedures, the human body can react in unpredictable ways. Dr. Rodriguez followed every established protocol. We have the digital logs, the synchronized heart monitor data, and the overhead 4K camera footage. All of it proves that this was a tragic, unavoidable cardiac event. To suggest negligence is not only insulting to Dr. Rodriguez, but a desperate smear campaign for a bigger payout. Mark's lawyer, Sarah Blake, a woman who spent months studying robotic engineering before taking this case, didn't look at the monitors. She stood directly in front of Dr. Rodriguez. Throughout the 3 weeks of testimony, the doctor had sat perfectly still, his hands always tucked firmly into the pockets of his expensive suit. "Dr. Rodriguez," Sarah began, her voice echoing in the silent room, "you pride yourself on perfection. You've even written books on the steady hand of the modern surgeon. But tell the court, why does your signature on Elena's post-operative report look like it was written during an earthquake? And why, in the 6 months since her death, have you not touched a single scalpel?" "I am in mourning," Rodriguez replied, his voice a cold, flat monotone. "Every loss stays with a doctor. I chose to step away to honor her memory." "Or did you step away because the machine failed you?" Sarah countered. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Sarah then called a surprise witness, Martha, a senior surgical nurse who had been with the hospital for 30 years before being forced into a sudden, voluntary retirement the week after Elena died. Martha took the stand, her hands shaking as she looked at Dr. Rodriguez. "The hospital is built on a lie," she whispered into the microphone. "Dr. Rodriguez hasn't actually performed a manual surgery in over 2 years. He developed a severe neurological tremor, Parkinson's, that he hid from everyone. To keep the hospital's perfect surgeon brand alive, they secretly installed an experimental AI-driven robotic system. Dr. Rodriguez would sit at a console and move his hands, and the AI would filter out his tremors, moving the actual robotic arms in the patient's body. It was a ghost surgery." The defense leaped to their feet, screaming about hearsay and lack of evidence, but Sarah was ready for the kill. She produced an encrypted hard drive recovered from a whistleblower in the hospital's IT department. This is the raw, unencrypted footage from OR4 on the day Elena died, not the polished AI-edited version the hospital submitted as evidence. As the video played on the giant courtroom screens, the truth was laid bare. At the 30-minute mark, the robotic arm glitched. A sudden power surge caused the AI to freeze for exactly 4 seconds. In a moment of sheer, unscripted panic, Dr. Rodriguez grabbed the manual override levers, but his hands weren't steady. The screen showed the robotic scalpel jerking violently, slicing through Elena's iliac artery. The blood began to spray, and the room turned into a scene of chaos. The most damning part? The final 10 minutes of the video showed the hospital's chief of staff entering the room, looking at the body, and then pointing directly at the camera. The video then glitched and restarted, now showing the edited version where everything appeared normal. "You didn't kill Elena Vance," Sarah shouted over the gasps of the jury. "You murdered her to protect a marketing slogan. You were more afraid of a shaky hand than you were of a dead patient." The judge's gavel fell like a gunshot. The jury didn't even need 2 hours to deliberate. They awarded Mark Vance the largest medical malpractice settlement in state history. But the real justice came when the judge referred the case for criminal prosecution. Dr. Rodriguez's medical license was revoked on the spot, and the hospital's board of directors was indicted for felony obstruction of justice and manslaughter. The St. Jude's Medical Center, once the city's pride, was shuttered within the year. Dr. Rodriguez, the man with the golden hands, was revealed to be a man who had sold his soul to a machine. As we move further into a world of AI and robotics, where does the machine end and the human responsibility begin? Can we ever truly trust a perfect record again? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. This is Justice Journals. Subscribe for more deep dives into the dark side of the law. The court is adjourned.